All right, I want to give all glory, honor, and praises to Yahweh by Shema Mashiach, Yahweh Shah by Shema Kwakadash. That's giving all praises to the Most High God and His Son, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. And the mechanism to make all this happen is the Holy Spirit. So today, I'm gonna try to keep it short. It kind of we run over a lot of times, but I'm trying to keep it short today. Today, we're gonna go over reasoning. Let's reason together. So the Most High is fascinating to me because we have a God who literally wants to reason with his creation. He wants to reason. He wants to work a deal out, right? And he doesn't have to do that. He made every single thing, and yet he's choosing to reason. That's powerful, you know? And us as his creations, we cannot just let that go by, right? So today we're going to be in the book of Isaiah, chapter 1. Let me share my screen. You can follow along. All right. So today we're going to be in Isaiah chapter 1. Isaiah. We'll start from the top. The book of Isaiah, chapter 1, verse 1. The vision of Isaiah, the son of Amos, which he saw concerning Judah and Jerusalem in the days of Uzziah, Jotham, Asa, and Hezekiah, kings of Judah. So this vision is a vision that Isaiah saw pertaining to Judah and Jerusalem, right? So when you go into it, this whole thing is a vision that he saw concerning us. Verse 2 says, "Hear, O heavens, and give ear, O earth, for the Lord hath spoken. I have nourished and brought up children, and they have rebelled against me." So we have the Most High calling two witnesses, heaven and earth, so that the matter can be established, right? Let's see if I can pull it up right quick. Real quick. Two witnesses, where this at? Yeah, Deuteronomy 19 and 15. Let me get this right quick. But it's important because since the Most High is calling heaven and earth, we have two witnesses here, right? Let's see, it's Deuteronomy 19 and 15. Yeah, it says, "One witness shall not rise up against a man for any iniquity or for any sin, and any sin that he sinneth. At the mouth of two witnesses or at the mouth of three witnesses shall the matter be established." So right now, pertaining to the law, if you're going to accuse somebody of sin, you need to have 2 to 3 witnesses, right? So when we go back to the book of Isaiah chapter 1 verse 2, saying, "Hear, O heavens, and give ear, O earth." That's witnesses. So we're already in hot water, right? The Lord has spoken. And he's saying he's nourished and he's brought up children that have rebelled against him. We are those rebellious children. Verse 3, "The ox knows his owner, and the ass his master's crib. But Israel does not know. My people does not consider." And that's what the state our people in. We don't know who we are. We don't know where we come from. And then what's worse, we don't give a damn. We don't care at all. Getting this real quick, this is the book of Hosea, chapter 4 and verse 6. "My people are destroyed for a lack of knowledge. Because you have rejected knowledge, I will also reject you. And you shall be no priest to me. Seeing you have forgotten the law of your God, I will also forget your children." So that's what's going on right now. We've been rebellious. And not only since we're being rebellious, we don't know who we belong to. We don't know the power of our God, right? Get another one. This is book of Isaiah, chapter 5 and verse 13. It says, therefore my people are gone into captivity because they have no knowledge, and their honorable men are famished, and their multitude dried up with thirst. So that's the state that we're in right now. We're in a state of ignorance. We don't know anything. We don't know who our owner is. But what's sad, the animals will know who their owner is before we do. All right, so let's go on. The book of Isaiah, chapter 1, verse 4. A sinful nation, a people laden with iniquity, a seed of evildoers, children that are corrupters. They have forsaken the Lord. They have provoked the Holy One of Israel unto anger. They are gone away backwards. So we're laden with iniquity, man. We're laden with sins. We're laden being rebellious and going against our power, the Holy One of Israel, the mighty name of Yahweh. We've gone against him, and he's telling us these things. He's saying, hey, y'all done messed up. Y'all have completely messed up, and there's consequences for that. Let's skip down to verse 7. What's one of the consequences? Our land. This isn't our land. We're not from America. We were brought here on boats. We were brought here on slave ships, man, which is prophesied in the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 68. We was brought over here. So what's going on with our land currently, since we're being rebellious children? Verse 7, it says, your country is desolate. Your cities are burnt with fire. Your land, strangers devour it in your presence, and it is desolate, as overthrown by strangers. Our land is overthrown by strangers. Who is it? Who's the strangers that is talking about? Man, that's them. You gotta be careful. That's them the fake people that's over there in Israel right now. The strangers. They are not the original people of this land. Let's get, the Bible gonna tell you that. Let's get Zechariah 9:6. I hope I don't go over in time. I'm not trying to do an hour-long video here. Book of Zechariah, chapter 9, verse 6, it says, and a bastard shall dwell in Ashdod, and I will cut off the pride of Philistines. It says a bastard shall dwell in Ashdod, right? Let's look at this. Ashdod. Copy that. Let's go into it. Ashdod. I clicked the wrong thing. Okay. Ashdod, right? A major Philistine city on the Mediterranean Sea, west from Jerusalem. Modern Ashdod, right? So let's see where that's at now. Let's see where that is now. Ashdod is the sixth largest city and largest port in Israel. It's a city in Israel, man. It's a whole city in Israel. The Most High said a bastard will dwell in our land, man. That's who's over there now. Bastards. They're bastards, right? Let's get another one. Let's go to Luke. Let's see, 21:24. A bastard is dwelling in our land right now, right? And then even, put this on, yep. Even Christ said it. He said what was going to happen to our land. This is the book of Luke 21:24. And they shall fall by the edge of the sword and shall be led away captives into all nations. And Jerusalem shall be trodden down of the Gentiles until the times of the Gentiles be fulfilled. We're still in the times of the Gentiles. So right now, as a consequence of us being those rebellious children to the Most High God, our land is overtaken by bastards and is being trodden down by Gentiles. It's being trodden down by people who the land isn't even supposed to go go to. Let's get one more just to hammer this point in, that as a consequences, we had to get kicked out of our land. And there's people there right now. This book of Revelation, chapter 2 and verse 9. I know your works and tribulation and poverty. That's us. But you are rich. And I know the blasphemy of them which say they are Jews and are not, but are the synagogue of Satan. So these bastards that dwell over there, they're the synagogue of Satan. Nothing good is being talked about these Gentiles who's trotting down our land, right? So let's go back to Isaiah 1. Verse 8, and the daughter of Zion is left as a cottage in a vineyard, and as a lodge in a garden of cucumbers, as a besieged city. So it's talking about our land here. It's saying our land is completely ravished. Go to NLT so you can better understand verse 8 here. Yeah, it says, beautiful Jerusalem stands abandoned, like a watchman's shelter in a vineyard, like a lean-to in a cucumber field after harvest, like a helpless city under siege. So this is what's going on with our land today, because we've been rebellious, because we have not done what is right and what is good in the sight of our God, right? Look at the title. It says God has enough. He has enough. Verse 10, it says, hear the word of the Lord, you rulers of Sodom. Now, he's not talking to the rulers of Sodom, the actual rulers of Sodom. No, it's a metaphor. He's calling us the rulers of Sodom because we're doing the exact same thing that the people in Sodom was doing. It says, hear the word of the Lord, you rulers of Sodom. Give ear unto the law of our God, you people of Gomorrah. Verse 11, to what purpose is the multitude of your sacrifices unto me, said the Lord. I am full of the burnt offerings of rams and the fat of fed beasts, and I delight not in the blood of bullocks or of lambs or of he-goats. Now, this is important because the Most High said, look, I don't care about your sacrifices. I don't care, because what was going on back then, people would commit sins, and then they'll say, oh, well, the law says all I got to do is go find a bullock or a ram and sacrifice him, and I'm good. No, man, the Most High wasn't dealing with that. And that's why you got people now, when they really scoffing, because you tell them to keep the laws of God, and the first thing they say is, oh, well, do you sacrifice? Are we going to do sacrifices now? No, we're not going to do sacrifices. Why? Because the Most High don't want that. That's not what he wants. He does not want us to just go off sin and say, oh, it's okay because I have a sacrifice. No, that was the whole purpose of Christ, man. The whole purpose of Christ and the whole purpose of why we have to live by faith now is because back then our forefathers did not have faith. They went strictly off the law. Well, the law says if I sacrifice a ram, I'm good. No, man, the Most High just said, to what purpose? To what purpose is the sacrifice? And this has always been the case. This has always been the case. He doesn't want our sacrifices, so he made it stop. We can't even do it anyway right now because we don't have a temple. This is the book of 1 Samuel chapter 15, verse 22. And Samuel said, has the Lord as great delight in burnt offerings and sacrifices as in obeying the voice of the Lord? Behold, to obey is better than sacrifice, and to hearken than the fat of rams. I'll continue on. For rebellion, remember, we're rebellious children, is as the sin of witchcraft, and stubbornness is as iniquity and idolatry. Because you have rejected the word of the Lord, he has also rejected you from being king. We're supposed to be kings in this time, man. We're supposed to be kings. We're supposed to be the rulers of this earth. But because we reject the word of the Lord, because we're rebellious children, we're not at our rightful place. We're not. We're supposed to be above all nations, man. Let me get that right quick. What's that in? Deuteronomy, I want to say 6 and 10. Get that right quick. It's not Deuteronomy 6 and 10. Hold on. Is it 4 and 6? Let me see. No, it's not. 7 and 6. 7 and 6. This is our rightful place. This is where we're supposed to be right now, right? It says, for you are an holy people unto the Lord your God. The Lord your God has chosen you to be a special people unto himself, above all people that are upon the face of the earth. But because we did not listen to his word, because we're rebellious children, he's rejected us from being this, man. He's rejected us from that. Because what is a king? A king is someone that's above all the people in his kingdom. But we can't be that because we are not listening to the voice of the Lord our God. Going back to Isaiah 1. Right? We'll skip down to verse 15. Not only has he rejected us from being king, because the rest of the verses are all just going into how he started to despise our feast days, started to despise our Sabbaths, started to despise our solemn assemblies. Like, that's not the point. He wants us to listen. He cares about all that, yes, but that's not the main focus. He cares more about you actually listening to his word than you saying, oh, it's the Sabbath, let me go tee up. Oh, it's the new moon, let's go tee up. Oh, I done slept with my neighbor's wife, it's all right. I got two rams in the backyard. No, man. So what's another thing he done put on us? Verse 15, it says, and when you spread forth your hands, I will hide my eyes from you. Yeah, when you make many prayers, I will not hear. Your hands are full of blood. So when we're in sin, man, contrary to popular belief, the Most High is not hearing your prayers. He's not dealing with it. Let's prove that. Let's prove that. Because people just think that they can do whatever the hell they want to do. No, man. No. You have to listen to the voice of God if you want your prayers to be heard. You just have to. It's the book of John, chapter 9, verse 31. It says, now we know that God hears not sinners, but if any man be a worshiper of God and does his will, him will he hear. What's the will of God? What's the will of God? Psalms 40. Psalms 48, I delight to do your will, oh my God. Yeah, your law is within my heart. So the only way he's going to hear your prayers, man, is if you're doing his will, which is what? You're following his laws, statutes, and commandments, man. And then you won't do any of that if you don't have faith. It's coupled together, man. It's not all law. It's not all faith. It's coupled together. If you have faith, then you're going to believe that if I do his will, if I do his law, he's going to hear my prayers. And then you take that faith and you couple it with action, which is doing his will or his law. All right. Let's get another one here. Let's get Proverbs. Proverbs 28 and 9. Proverbs 28:9. He that turneth away his ear from hearing the law, so turns away from doing the Most High's will, the will of Yahweh, him that turns away his ear from hearing the law, even his prayer shall be an abomination. So when you don't do the will of God, when you don't follow his law, statutes, and commandments, your prayers are an abomination. This is what the text say. The text is saying that, man. I'm not saying none of this. You're seeing it with your own eyes. You don't follow the will of God, which we haven't. You be rebellious, which is at the sin of witchcraft. When you get to praying, man, he said, I'm not going to hear that. He does not want to hear it, man. He does not want to hear what you have to say when you're not hearing what he has to say. It's Proverbs chapter 15, verse 18. A wrathful man stirreth up strife, but he that is slow to anger, well, no, that ain't it. Oh, man. Wrong thing. Let's see. Where is it? Let me go to it. Bible. Hold on. One moment. Here it is. 15 and 8. I put 15 and 18. Salakia. 15 and 8. The sacrifice of the wicked is an abomination to the Lord, but the prayer of the upright is his delight. So when you're upright, man, that's when your prayer becomes a sweet smell to him, man. That's whenever he finally looks down and says, okay, what is it that he's asking? What is it that he needs? He already knows, but you have to do his will first, man. You have to. So let's go back to Isaiah. I don't want to make this too long. Let's go Isaiah 16. Now here's the crux of this whole video right here. The next 3 verses, okay? Because before we get to this, we have to understand, why does these verses even have to come into play at all? And that's because we're rebellious. That's because we don't listen to the words of our God. That's because our forefathers, they took pleasure in sacrifice over obeying, right? So now there's a controversy going on. The Most High is not pleased with that. He's not dealing with that. So what is his response? What does he tell us? Book of Isaiah, chapter 1 and verse 16, it says, wash you, make you clean, put away the evil of your doings from before my eyes, cease to do evil. Right? So how do you wash yourself? How do you wash yourself? Let's go into it. The book of Ephesians, chapter 5, verse 26, that he might sanctify and cleanse it with the washing of water by the word. Okay, so it says it's the washing of water, but by the word, not physical water. Now that's going into a whole nother topic with baptism. But essentially, when you get baptized, you're washing yourself and you're being washed by the word, right? Let's get more proof on this. Let's go to Psalms 119 and 9. Right? It says, wherewithal shall a young man cleanse his way? How do you clean yourself? How do you wash yourself, as the Most High told you to do? By taking heed thereto according to your word. It's a running theme. It's becoming redundant. You have to adhere to his word if you want to be washed. Let's get another one. Go to John 15 and 3. Look at this. This red letter, man. It says, now you are clean. So now you're washed through the word which I have spoken unto you, man. And we know that Yahweh Shah, he is the word, man. He's speaking to us every single time we open up this Bible. Every single time. So you have to take heed to the Most High's word if you want to be washed, man. If you want to make yourself clean, you have to take heed to the word. You have to. You want to put away the evil that the Most High is trying to reason with you on. You have to take heed to what he tells you to do, which is what? Keep his law, statutes, and his commandments, man. We'll prove it. Verse 17, it says, learn to do well, seek judgment, relieve the oppressed, judge the fatherless, plead for the widow. So how do you do well? Huh? What is doing well? It says you have to learn it. So if we're learning it, where do we go to learn it from, right? Let's go New Testament. Because I remember when I brought, this truth up to my family, they said, oh, well, you gotta read more of the New Testament. Man, the New Testament nothing but just a rehashing of the old. Look at this. It says, wherefore the law is holy, and the commandment holy, and just and good. What's good? The law. The law is holy. The commandments is holy. And they are just and they are good. You have to learn to do these things. So if you have to learn to do well, meaning you have to learn to do good, meaning you have to learn to do the law. You have to learn to do these commandments to the best of your ability. It's not hard, It's not hard. Let's get another one. Micah 6 and 8. I'm on time. I'm doing pretty good. Micah 6:8. He showed you, oh man, what is good. And what does the Lord require of you? But to do justly and to love mercy and to walk humbly with your God, right? Talking about what's required, right? What's also required? Because it's going to go full circle. Go to Deuteronomy 10 and 12, right? It says, and now Israel, what does the Lord your God, not other people's, your God, require of you? But to fear the Lord your God, to walk in all his ways, and to love him, and to serve the Lord your God with all your heart and all your soul, to keep the commandments of the Lord and his statutes, which I command you this day for your good, right? And even when you dive into this, the fear of the Lord, how you fear the Lord, right? Watch this. Psalms 111, verse 10 says, the fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. A good understanding have all they that do his commandments. His praise endureth forever. So that's how you fear the Lord. You hear these things all the time, but nobody really expounds upon it, right? It says to love him. How do you love God? We be out there on campus all the time asking people, how do you love God? And they can't tell us. They don't know. Or they give us some generic answer talking about oh, I pray. That's how I love him. You pray. I mean, that's good. You're supposed to pray. But if I have my woman, for example, and I send her a text message and I say, hey, babe, I love you. I love you. I love you and I love you and I love you. But I don't do nothing for her. When she's sick, I'm nowhere around. I don't bring her flowers. I don't give her no other compliments besides I love you. You know what I'm saying? I don't provide for her. I don't make sure that, she got everything she needs. I don't have groceries in the house, nothing like that. I don't really love her. It's the same with God, man. This is the love of God. 1 John chapter 5, verse 3. For this is the love of God, that we keep his commandments. And his commandments are not grievous. Bro, it's getting redundant here. Keep commandments. Follow the law. Do what's good. Do what's just. The law is good. The commandments are holy. Learn to do well. Come on, man. Think. You have to think, man. It's simple reading comprehension. Stop doing what your goddamn flesh wants to do and follow the words of God, man. Because so far he said we haven't, and we've been rebellious. And because of that, we've lost our land, we've lost our heritage, and he's not even hearing our prayers, man. Why you think when all hell was breaking loose on our people, hey, we was praying. Was the prayers being answered? Hell no. They're still not being answered right now because you still got our brothers getting shot down in the streets. Why? Because you're not loving God the way you're supposed to love him. You've been told lies, man. You've been told lies. Let's get one more on this. Then we're gonna move on. Get Jeremiah 4. 1-4. Yeah. Circumcise yourself to the Lord and take away the foreskin of your heart, you men of Judah and inhabitants of Jerusalem. Lest my fury come forth like fire and burn that none can quench it because of the evil of your doings. This is why our community is in shambles. This is why you have Mexican kids in cages in the border. This is why the Haitians, when they try to come over here from refuge, they're getting met with white men on horses and whips. It's because the evil of our doings, man. We have to come back to God. All right, let's go back to Isaiah. Now, verse 18. I love this verse. It says, come now. This is God speaking. Come now. Let us reason together, said the Lord. Come on, man. Come on, man. Let us reason, man. He says, though your sins be as scarlet, they shall be as white as snow. Though they be red as crimson, they shall be as wool, man. That's powerful. It's powerful. The Creator saying, look, let's reason. Let's reason, man. It says, if you be willing and obedient, You shall eat the good of the land. We're going to get our land back, man. But if you refuse and rebel, you shall be devoured with the sword. For the mouth of the Lord has spoken it. The mouth of the Lord has spoken it, man. The mouth of the Lord has spoken it, man. He said it. He said it. I ain't say it. The mouth of the Lord says it. He says, come, let us reason, man. And that's what he's doing right now. How does he reason? Is he physically gonna get off his throne and come reason with you? No. He's gonna send his prophets, man. He's gonna put the spirit on his prophets. I messed that up. He's gonna put the spirit on his prophets to actually preach his word, to actually bring his word out so that they can wash you, man, and so that you can clean your ways. All right, this is the book of 1 Samuel. I'll start at verse 6, chapter 12, verse 6. And Samuel said unto the people, it is the Lord that advanced Moses and Aaron. So the Lord is the one that put the spirit on Moses and Aaron, and that brought your fathers up out of the land of Egypt. Now therefore stand still, that I may reason with you before the Lord of all the righteous acts of the Lord, which he did to you and your father. Man. So he's reasoning. The simple fact, if you're watching this video, the Most High is reasoning with you right now to come back, to put away the evils of your doings, man. He said, if you be obedient, if you be willing and obedient, that's simple. That's the terms and conditions. If you be willing and obedient. And he's not reasoning with nobody else but us, the children of Israel, man. Let's prove that. Let's prove that. Let's get let me see, Micah 6. Shit is in here. Really not trying to go over. I might cut it after this. Micah 6. Let me get it first. Make sure it's the right one. Yep, Micah 6 and 2. Yep, it says, hear you, O mountains, the Lord's controversy, and you strong foundations of the earth. There goes some two witnesses again. For the Lord has a controversy with his people, and he will plead with Israel. It's not pleading with nobody else, man. And that's why you shouldn't take this for granted when the Creator said, come now, let's reason together, right? No matter what you did, he gonna wash it all away, man. That's y'all just don't understand. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. Let's get another one, right? Just to show that we are the ones who he wants to reason together with, man. He doesn't care about them other nations, man. Them other nations, he's just gonna destroy their ass. But us, he doesn't want us to do, right? It says, put me in remembrance. Let us plead together. Declare you that you may be justified, right? So we have to, bro. We're going to keep reading. Your first fathers have sinned, and your teachers have transgressed against me. So our forefathers have sinned, and the people who are supposed to be correcting us, our teachers, even they transgressed against the Most High. So what happened? It says, therefore, I have profaned the princes of the sanctuary, and I have given Jacob to the curse, and Israel to reproaches. What curse he's talking about? Well, that's Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 15 on down, right? 15 on down. And you can read them curses. But that's what we're given to because we have been rebellious children, man. And he's saying, hey, let's reason. Let's reason. Stop all this, right? I'm going to jump down to 26. And another way that he's reasoning, he's going to restore the judges. He's going to restore the prophets in the last days, right? This is verse 26. And I will restore your judges at the first and your counselors as at the beginning. Afterwards, you shall be called the city of righteousness, the faithful city. Zion shall be redeemed with judgment and her converts with righteousness, man. So that's what's going to happen, bro. What's going to happen is he's going to first, at the end, which we are in, he's going to restore the judges. And then he's going to reason, he's going to plead. And then after that, that's when we're going to be called the city of righteousness, man. We're going to be back to our rightful place. Let me get this this last one. Well, I'm gonna give about two more and I'm gonna close it out. All right. We'll go to Zechariah chapter 8. Start at verse 3. It says, "Thus said the Lord, I am returned unto Zion," man. It's a running theme. Who's Zion? Zion is us, man, the children of Israel. Let's look at that right quick. Right quick. Because Zion gets thrown around haphazardly like it's everybody, and it's not. Look, another name for Jerusalem, especially in the prophetic books. Come on, man. A mountain in Jerusalem. So he's not talking about nobody else, man. He's pleading with us. He says, our judges are going to come back. We're the ones who are going to be pleaded with. It says, I am returned unto Zion, and I will dwell in the midst of Jerusalem. And Jerusalem shall be called a city of truth, and the mountain of the Lord of hosts, the holy mountain. All right. Jump down to verse 7. Thus said the Lord of hosts, behold, I will save my people from the east country and from the west country, and I will bring them, and they shall dwell in the midst of Jerusalem, and they shall be my people, and I will be their God in truth and in righteousness. And this is what he's trying to reason with you with, man. He's saying if you be willing and obedient, this is what's going to happen. He's going to bring us back, and we're going to dwell in our rightful land. We'll be his people, and he's going to be our God, and it's all going to be done in righteousness, man. We'll be a city of truth, a city of righteousness. Don't you want that? Don't you want that, man? Or you want to stay living in here where you living paycheck to paycheck? We got to pay all types of taxes for land that you used to own. My Native American brothers, my Hispanic brothers, you had to pay taxes in the land that you was forced to be brought here on. My so-called black brothers. So come on, man. And then there's one last clause. He said, but, hey, if you don't, you want to be a transgressor, this is what's going to happen. Isaiah chapter 1, verse 28, and the destruction of the transgressors and of the sinners shall be together. The destruction, man. And they that forsake the Lord shall be consumed. For they shall be ashamed of the oaks which you have desired, and you shall be confounded for the gardens that you have chosen. So he said, hey, let's reason. But if you go against me, man, if you rebel, you're going to be destroyed. Not only are you going to be destroyed, you're going to be ashamed. You're going to be ashamed. You're going to be confounded, man. You're going to put all your trust and all your eggs in the so-called white man's basket, in the so-called Chinese man basket, in this society's basket, man, and not the Most High. You're going to be confounded, man. You're going to be confounded. And that's all, bro. Just reason, man. The Most High is calling us, and he's saying, hey, let us reason. Let us reason together, And we got to make a choice, Israel. You got to make a choice. Come back to God and have a joyous time, be saved, go back to your land, get away from all of this. Or don't, and be destroyed, bro. Be destroyed because you want to have fun, because you want to go to the club every single weekend and grab on booty all day long, because you want to sit up here and get drunk and smoke weed all day long. You got to ask yourself, man, what is it that you want to do when the Most High calls you, when he reasons with you together? That's something you got to decide, right? So with that, hey, I want to give all glory, honor, and praise to the Most High Yahweh, by Hashem Mashiach Yahweh Shah, by Hashem Krokadash, man. And I want to just want to tell all the brothers that's watching this, hey, peace and shalom.